Hello, everyone. Guess what?
What's up?
Hey, we are together at GDC this week, which we love coming to. Obviously, San Francisco is cool in places. Yeah. So,
Oh, that was not supposed to go
what
up yet.
did you do?
Remove that.
Remove that.
One.
Okay, back to the intro. Yeah, we're gonna demo some stuff. We're together. This is probably gonna be chaos, and throw your questions in the live chat on YouTube, on X, and yeah. So Luke's gonna demo some stacked stuff. He's been leaking on X, as you guys have probably seen, and yeah, I don't know. Bring up Luke.
Great. Hey guys. Yeah, sorry, it's been a hectic day. Yeah, there's a bit more eyes on Pixels now, right? So basically I'll give you the gist of everything too. So we've been working on a lot of stuff for the last year, right? If you come to these AMAs regularly every single week, none of what we're about to release is surprising to you, but you know, I am looking through recent comments about Pixels. I'm looking through like CoinMarketCap comments, for example, and most people out there don't really know what we're working on, right? So this is kind of a chance for us to kind of go over with you guys again, like what exactly Pixels is doing, how this relates to the Pixel token, vision, updates on all the progress that we've been making, and yeah, we kind of want to run you through this, right? So disclaimer, we were not expecting to kind of announce and show you guys everything this week. We were actually kind of planning it for next week. So there's a lot of things that aren't ready. This isn't the full announcement. This is kind of a peek into what we're working on.
Sorry.
Basically.
His laptop's like on its last legs, and right now it's just glitch. Is it like that permanently?
Yeah, there's a.
How do you work with that?
There's a high chance.
Like
well,
flickering.
it just started happening yesterday. There's a high chance my laptop dies forever, and this code is lost in the void.
No, don't say that.
But
we have to install confidence.
Yeah. So yeah, what we'll do today is we'll kind of give you guys the 1,000-eye view of all the things we've been working on. We'll give you a little demo of what Stacked is, just because I think the time is right to kind of show you guys what it is right now. This is not the full working demo. It's like, it's funny. I was literally refactoring it last night. So it's like, there's a few pieces that aren't working right now even. But the tech does work. We have stable versions. Team is using it. And it is pretty cool. So again, we'll kind of dive into like what exactly is Pixels working on. We'll give you guys some like insights into the high level vision. We'll give you guys updates on core pixels in the game, and yeah, get into all of that. So yeah, here's the gist. Here's the 1,000-eye view.
I've never heard that saying before.
1,000-eye view. Like imagine you're up in a little plane and you want to like kind of see the entire world.
How is that 1,000 eyes? I got that.
1,000 foot
500 people
mile high view. You're right. You know, it's just like
he's just making stuff up.
Yeah. So high level. If you guys have been following Pixels for a long time, you guys already know this. If you haven't been following Pixels at all and you're just checking in recently again, Pixels has been working on a lot more than a game, right? Because
1,000-foot eye view.
As we've been building out Pixels, what we've realized is it's actually quite hard to build a Web3 game. And in order to actually build a successful Web3 game, we had to build a lot of technology in order to support our own games, right? In order to actually build out a Web3 game, part of the hard part about it is you're actually solving all of Web3 when you build out a Web3 game. Web3 games, in my opinion, are actually some of the first applications of crypto that are full stack of the user experience of what Web3 can be, which basically means a Web3 game needs to solve all of the hard problems that any Web3 app would need to solve in order to actually be successful. I see a lot of people talk about Web3 games and say, oh, you know, Web3 games aren't, you know, really out at market yet because they didn't have good enough game design, because the teams suck, like all of this kind of stuff. And I actually think that's a wrong assessment of the state of Web3 gaming. Really, the hard part about Web3 gaming is that you need to solve Web3 incentives, which is the core crux of all of Web3. What is Web3 supposed to be? Well, Web3 is supposed to add ownership, right? And it's supposed to add incentive alignment, right? Web3 is a way to build out economic systems for users that allow users to partake in the entire economic system, right? Which means that, you know, it's about basically mass coordination of a bunch of different types of people in order to achieve a common goal, right? Like that's the whole point of what a protocol is, what a network is, what an ecosystem is, right? And this coordination problem becomes abundantly clear when you build out a Web3 game because you're actually trying to coordinate a bunch of people to go and play a game or do things, right? So in order to actually make a Web3 game successful and work, you need to solve this incentive alignment problem. And it is the problem inside the Web3. It's not just a game problem, it is a Web3 incentive alignment, NP hard problem, basically, like a very, very hard problem to solve. So, a lot of what we've been working on over the last couple of years is figuring out how to build out these incentive alignment problems so that we can actually make a Web3 game that's fun, that gives ownership, and that people enjoy, right? So, in order to do that, you need a few things. One, you need a good game and product, right? That's absolutely necessary, but that's not enough. There are actually good games in Web3 that have come out that just haven't worked because they haven't figured out the other side of things, how to get the ownership right, how to get the incentive alignment right, how to get the coordination right, how to stop bots and cyber attackers from entering your game. And that is the crux of what we've had to deal with at Pixels as we've been building for the last few years, right? We had the game, we have a lot of people playing the game, but in order to actually make the economics work, it wasn't so straightforward, right? That required a lot of iteration on the game design and a lot of iteration on how you actually create incentive structures that work for the game and for the users, right? Like both of these things need to be true in order for Web3 gaming to really work. And that is a culmination of all the stuff we've been working on for the last 4 years that we're kind of putting into this new product called Stacked. So Stacked is not a pivot away from Pixels. Stacked is actually what's powering a lot of the rewards inside of Pixels now. And Stacked is a culmination of all the lessons, all of the work, all of the tech, all of the data science, all of the models that we built for the last 4 years, basically. So Stack kind of packages all of the proprietary tech that we built in one easy to use system that core Pixels and all the games that the Pixel ecosystem are working on will use. And we're also going to be opening it up to other teams too, because this is the crux of the problem, right? If you can solve incentive alignment, then you're able to actually give out ownership of items in the games. It doesn't break the game economy. It makes the game feel bad. That doesn't reward extractors. That rewards the right kind of loyalty. And you can actually focus on building a game too. So one of the issues when we've been building Pixels is our team at Pixels has had to focus on so much just to build out Pixels, right? Imagine a normal team coming into crypto gaming and trying to build out a game. Even if they're the best game design team out there that can build an amazing game, a lot of these teams have really struggled because they're not just building a game, they're building out all of these other things too. In order for crypto gaming and actually any crypto app to actually succeed, what you need is you need to let those teams focus on the actual product, right? Like they need to focus on the actual game and
make fun games.
Exactly. But the thing is, if there's no tech layer behind that, these teams can't just focus on the game, right? We've seen really talented teams come into the space that have absolutely floundered in Web3 because of that, on games and in like normal apps too,
Exactly.
right?
But it's like so hard to do all of that. Like,
so
that's it. It's so hard.
Yeah, again, what we found at Pixels is when you start to add in ownership layers into a game or an ecosystem, what you have now done, whether you like it or not, is you've created a Web3 game, you've created a play to earn game, right? This happens in really any game or any ecosystem out there, right? Not just games, because there's like a lot of comparables in like Web2 even, right? But or not even Web2, even like in apps and consumer, right? But a good example is like games like RuneScape or EVE Online, right? Like they don't have as strong ownership layers as a crypto game would, but they still have to deal with similar issues when it comes to bot farming, currency farming, all of this, right? When you start to add in a stronger ownership layer with asset ownership in Web3, right? Then you start to introduce these systems in an even stronger way. And these are things you have to plan around, right? So this is kind of the core Stacked and what we're working on, right? And yeah, I'll kind of demo you guys like what Stacked is. I'll give you guys some updates on some other side of things too. But yeah, maybe let's dig into it. So really quick before I start to show you exactly what Stacked is, I'll give you the quick overview of what it actually is. So Stacked is a few different parts. Stacked is one, an app that you can download. You, the players, can download, right? It is a platform that teams can use to help basically optimize their games and give out rewards and kind of make play to earn work inside of their games. It can use crypto or not for these teams. And um, it's also kind of like a self-improving system as well too, which is some of the cool stuff that we've been working on as well. So yeah, let me dive into it because it's probably easier to show you guys. And I'll kind of relate this to, how it's working when it comes to everything else in the greater vision of the Pixel ecosystem as well throughout this AMA.
So
But
apparently our stream is freezing often. I don't really know what to do with that.
yeah, maybe it's a why. Maybe what we can do is hotspot if we need to.
No.
Perhaps that might be a little bit better.
Is that better?
Um,
How do we do that without cutting the stream?
yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll continue.
How bad is it, guys?
Well, here's one thing I can do.
It's freezing often. I don't know if it's on your end or ours. I mean, if it's a lot of people, so I deleted the message.
Here, keep.
No, it seems like there's a lot or a few people mentioning it.
Well, keep your thing on. I'll switch to a hotspot on my screen.
Okay.
And don't mess with anything for a second.
Yeah, it's fine. Keep going. It's okay. It's okay for me. Okay, I don't know. Maybe it's like certain servers. Voice is okay. Video is 90%. Okay, as long as he can yap, that's all that matters. You guys don't need to.
Oh, there's no sound. Okay, how's this? Is this any better, guys?
I don't think so.
We're back.
They look so bad.
It's okay. Let's just focus on the AMA. Like, give us updates on how things are looking, guys. But we'll continue. So
We'll talk to that screen then, not this one.
yeah. So essentially, what Stacked is, here we're gonna go and demo what it looks like now. And is one, it's an app, it's a platform, and it's a little bit more than that too. So let's hop over to here. So
You're sharing your whole screen.
yeah, I know. You, the gamer, this is what Stacked looks like.
Can you zoom in though?
Just hold up for a second. So you, the gamer, this is what Stacked looks like, right? So Stacked is one, it's gonna be a web app, and it'll be also supporting iOS and Android, right? So the first release of Stacked, it'll ship as a web-only version, but we have iOS and Android in the works. They're kind of just going through the approval process now. It'll be a mobile app that you can download also. If you want to take a look at what the mobile app would look like, it would look more like this, right? But it is built mobile native. So what Stacked is it's basically a place you can go to every single day and see all the potential rewards you can earn in any of the games that we're working with inside the Pixels ecosystem, or even not just games. It could even be things like, Ronin or like other chains as well too, right? So this is the Ronin one. So what you'll do is you'll come here every day, and the goal when we release Stacked is there should be at least like 5 to 10 things for you to do inside of every game, inside of every ecosystem, every single day, right? Now, how this works is this is already hooked up into the Pixels system, right? If you're playing Pixels right now, you actually don't really need to do anything differently. And honestly, if you didn't want to download this app in the beginning stages, you would never have to download the app. You can only use the web version if you want. Or you can just actually keep earning and playing inside of Pixels too. So how the system works is you guys have been seeing offers inside of Pixels. And honestly, we don't really call them offers anymore. That's kind of a technical term. That's what you call it on like the B2B side. But for you guys, the missions and quests, right? So you see these missions and quests inside of Pixels mostly every day now that are oriented around like, play Neon Zone, do these things. The Pixels game has already implemented these systems, right? The Pixels game is already connected to Stacked. So everything that you see in the Pixels game will also show up here. Basically, this is like an easy dashboard for you to look at and see all the different things you might have to do across different games. So there's Pixel support here now, but there's also going to be like other Pixel ecosystem games supported. And as Stacked is launched, we'll add support for more and more games inside of here, right? So again, you can play the way that you normally would. You'll get different quests to go out and do every single day. If you complete these quests, then you get pixel rewards, and you can actually cash it out in here. So you'll have options to cash out. And what Stacked supports, it supports a lot of different things. In Stacked, you can earn in-game items in your favorite games. You can earn in-game currencies that are not crypto. Like you could earn coins in the system if you wanted to. You can earn cryptocurrencies too. It supports any cryptocurrency. So any game can give out their own cryptocurrency rewards in their own native cryptocurrency if they wanted to. Or if they didn't want to give out any crypto rewards and just do in-game rewards that had nothing to do with crypto, they can do that too. Now, what's interesting also is games are able to reward this new concept of points. They're probably not going to be called Neo points. They're going to be called something else soon, maybe like bits, I think we're talking about. But these games will also be able to reward out like off-chain points, basically. Now, what's cool about these off-chain points is you'll be able to redeem them still for USDT, for Pixel, for VPixel, for different things like that, right? Now, the conversions and stuff like that will be kind of TBD. But yeah, essentially, if you earn points, this is a loyalty currency that you can get that you can use for cashing out. Or soon in this app, you'll also see a store where you can use those same points to purchase things in the favorite games that you guys have as well too. So yeah, if you're in this app, you can go and see potential different games that you can play. And then also there's some experimental stuff that we'll be working on too, where we'll also add in a new type of creator program inside of Stacked, where you can go and create content and potentially get rewards too. So that's the consumer side of Stacked. Basically an app where players can come in, they can earn rewards inside of the games that they're already playing. And yeah, you as a consumer, you can earn the rewards directly inside of the game. Essentially how these games work is there's like an SDK. You'll see the offers inside of the game and in this app, right? So if you're inside of the games, you actually have the chance to never leave if you don't want to. Stacked is completely optional. It's a layer on top of games. If you don't want to actually download Stacked, you don't have to. But if you do some of the Stacked rewards, some of the Stacked rewards will be in this app only. Like if you're earning Stacked points, you need to cash out in this Stacked web framework or inside of the Stacked app. If you're earning in-game rewards, if you're earning like stuff inside of that native game, you would never even have to go into Stacked. It just basically the back end of how they actually give out rewards, right? So the cool part about Stacked is this other part. So Stacked, I don't want to share too much, but it's basically an entire SDK for managing rewards, right? And what Stacked can do is it basically does all the management of all of these in-game rewards that you see in Stacked and inside of the games for teams, right? So essentially, there's a bunch of different parts to it. It's a huge, huge, huge product. But what it can do is it can help teams create new in-game rewards for their player base. So now they can basically turn their games into play-to-earn games, right? So teams that don't have any rewards or loyalty programs or any play-to-earn mechanics might want to use Stacked because, one, we know at Pixels, when you have rewards inside of the game, it is extremely powerful. One, Pixels grew to millions of users on $0 of ad spend through systems like this, right? Two, just having rewards, what we've seen inside of it, anytime that we run paid ads, is having rewards inside of your game literally lowers your customer acquisition cost, right? So literally, if you do nothing inside of your game and you just start adding in loyalty rewards, people really appreciate that. And it's actually easier to go out and acquire new users. Two, it makes the game more interesting and more fun. And yeah, there's a lot of great stuff here. Somebody said bots don't count, Luke. Pixels actually still had millions of real users. We can show you like actual live data on that. There were also millions of bots too.
Yeah.
But
we always got rid of them.
Yeah. So here's just for you guys to understand. This is more like oriented now, this part of the explanation towards like other teams, right? So imagine that, now I'm not talking to a player. A lot of the people who watch these streams and these AMAs. Now I'm talking to another team who might be interested in using Pixels for Stacked as a platform, right? So language switches a little bit right now. So a game. Why might you want to use Stacked? Well, basically Stacked can create real money offers inside of your game, and it handles everything for you. It handles budgeting, it handles targeting, it handles anti-bot, anti-Cybele, and it does data science for your team as well too. There's some crazy things that this platform can do now. But first, it starts with the offer, right? So an offer is a very technical term. Honestly, I hate saying this word to users because it's not a word.
Better one.
Yeah, it's not a word that honestly you as a user should ever know.
Quest.
Yeah, like you as a user who's actually like using Stack and earning rewards, you should think about it like a quest or a mission, right? But the technical term for teams building in games is an offer, right? Now, Stacked can do two types of offers. It can do normal in-game offers. It can also do rewarded real money offers, which is a very, very interesting thing because one, in order to give out rewarded offers like that, there is a ton of work that you need to do to actually make it, compliant, to like handle risk around that, right? When you start to do this kind of stuff, you have a lot of concerns around like money laundering. You can't let North Korea wash money through it, stuff like that, regulation, all of this. Stacked is handling all of that for you guys. So any game that wants to integrate and experiment with real money offers inside of your game doesn't have to think about that. So in Stacked, you're able to create offers, define them, and target them too. So when you're actually implementing offers inside of a game, one of the things you need to worry about is you can't be giving offers to bots. And the other thing that you need to be thinking about too is you need to be thinking about when I actually reward players, what I'm doing for the game and how does it actually help the player too. Now, this system, the magic of it is we're trying to create a system that's benefiting both the player and the game, right? So one of the earlier issues with Pixels in the beginning stages was when we were giving out a lot of rewards inside of the game, it was unprofitable to the game, right? Which basically means that for every single dollar of rewards that we were giving out, it technically costed the ecosystem like $2, right? Because our reward or this concept of return on reward spend that we had was not positive, right? So if you want to go out and build a successful system here and think about when other games want to integrate this too, what they want to know is when they give out rewards, is it actually going to lead to better engagement inside of the game? Are more people going to play? Are they going to get more users? Is the game going to monetize a little bit better, right? Like, why else would a game integrate this? Well, in the future, there might be reasons where it's like if they don't integrate rewarded play, maybe they'll be very uncompetitive against games that do. But in the short term, most games are businesses. They need to see like something in it for them, right? Which for them would be more users, better engagement and retention of their users, or better monetization, right? So offers need to kind of have both things work. They need to make the game more fun. They need to make the game actually reward users, right? It's not so fun for you, or it doesn't feel good for you if there's actually no rewards in it for you. And they need to do so in a way that actually promotes growth and better economics inside of the game too. So what Stacked does is basically it allows for better targeting of rewards. It plans for reward attribution. So when you give out a certain reward, what it does is does a lot of analyses on these rewards. It'll kind of A/B test rewards with a bunch of different users to see when we give out a reward to a specific user, what did that reward do for the game? How did the user react to that reward? And is it actually an effective reward in both regards? Is the reward that the user felt good, which means did they like keep playing? Did they retain? And did the reward actually lead to a better outcome for the ecosystem too? So these rewards can be highly targeted and can be kind of managed that way, right? So yeah, there's a whole way to kind of like basically build out rewards, edit them this way. Now, one of the things we had a problem with at the beginning stages was we had some amazing tooling to go out and build offers and target them and manage offers too, but it was really, really hard for a team to manage. So one of the things that we started to build was like an agent layer on top also. And this is where it gets really, really cool. So how Pixels has been building Stacked is you can kind of think about it like building blocks in a bunch of Legos, where in order to build the tech that's behind this, what we had to do was we had to do a ton of infrastructure work first and foremost out of anything. So Stacked processes millions and billions of points of data in order to make these decisions, in order to make accurate predictions, in order to like actually work basically. Like if you don't have millions and billions of points of data and a live base and experiments, this product will never work because you actually don't have the ability to understand what happens when you give out rewards, when you target them to different people, and you don't have the amount of data that you would need to actually build out an effective system. You don't have the ability to determine what's a bot and what's not a bot. You don't have the ability to determine like what users might be like good users that you should reward. And yeah, it just doesn't work basically. So in order to actually do that, you need to build out infrastructure that can actually support, millions of incoming data points per day even. And that's hard to do, right? Two, what you need very good data science models. And that's a lot of the building blocks of what Stacked is built on, right? We've been investing heavily in this for the last 2 years, where essentially we have a bunch of, you can view it like Legos, like a bunch of different Legos that we have that kind of work together to build out good models of behavior, players, prediction, all of this, right? And essentially what these models do is they'll help us solve all these problems. They can give us essentially insights into, what players should we be rewarding more? What players are, valuable to the ecosystem that we really need to retain? What users are, actually probably bots or like just pure extractors and like don't do anything helpful to the ecosystem? What users are valuable, but maybe not in like a monetary way? So I think
What?
Spliffy said something.
This one?
Net negative to the player equals paying customer. So there's actually a lot of nuance here. And this is exactly what we mean with Stacked being like a little bit different than other platforms out there. So there are a couple of Web 2 rewarded play platforms. And like Mistplay, JustPlay are 2 examples. These platforms basically just reward you for installs, and then they give you impossible milestones to hit, where it's essentially basically impossible to get any of the rewards. But these platforms typically really only pay for installs. Now, what's so interesting about Play to Earn is there is so much nuance that can be unlocked with good data and good insights. Here's a very good example. If you're a game economist, one of the things that you know is if you only target whales or spenders inside of a game, that's actually not good enough for a game. Like games aren't very fun if there's only 50 people playing the game and
Really?
they're all spenders, right? So if you created a rewarded play system that only rewarded whales and only focused on getting people to spend, that system actually won't work, right? Because, one, whales are not dumb. Two, you need a player base too. So actually what you tend to see a lot in like deeper game economy design from like the top game studios is they understand that there are a bunch of different types of users that are still very, very valuable to have inside of the ecosystem, even if they're not monetizing, right? So just because you're not spending inside of the game does not mean that you wouldn't be rewarded, right? There's a lot more nuance there. And like the data models behind that are very interesting. It's some of our secret sauce that I don't want to dive into too much. And that's like kind of a lot of the work that we're doing here too, around like Markov chain testing. It's super technical basically and like so nerdy. But like that's a lot of what we're working on too, where it's like, okay, just because you are creating offers that directly increase spend, that's not enough in an offer portfolio, basically. So yeah, here's Stacked and like the actual platform. Stacked, it's kind of crazy because we have all these tools around data science that are doing really good analysis on player behavior and an understanding. One, it works really well for creating new offers. 1 second.
It's just more visual thinking.
Yeah, well, oh, this one.
No.
Well, here's a good example, but yeah, just like yeah. So, essentially, because we have all these building blocks for understanding player behavior and creating good offers for the ecosystem. This platform is very interesting because honestly, unexpected behavior. It also acts like a game economist too, if you ask it the right questions. So essentially what we did is we added an agent orchestration layer on top of all of these building blocks that we have. And this just unlocked an insane amount of functionality for the team and for other people too. This is a more recent development because we had this base before. And I'll dive into that next. So we had the space before, basically, as we were building Stacked, like automated segmentation, Markov chain testing, like all this nerdy stuff, right? But even our own internal team, it's kind of hard to manage it because honestly, to use it effectively, like you have to know what tools to use, you have to know how to do all this. When we started adding the agent orchestration on top of it, essentially how this works is we have all these data models, tons of Python scripts, tons of like data ingestion, all of this. Now what we can do is we can actually use another small agent layer on top that can use all these tools to generate really solid analyses and reports that we'll get back to you too. And Stacked actually kind of acts like a game economist and a data scientist too. So a really good example would be, I asked Stacked, can you take a look at our highest extracting users and analyze the difference in gameplay between them and our highest spend users? I asked it to create a detailed report, and this was the report that it generated for us. And like this is the kind of thing the system will go through basically, where it will generate reports, and then they'll use those reports to create new offers inside of the game that actually address some of these issues.
So cool.
And the insights that we're getting from this is pretty crazy. Now this one, sometimes you don't really want to see some reports, but like the whole point is like getting to the truth of the thing, right? Like when you're building something, you don't want to ignore problems. So, I asked it again, like, can you take a look at their highest extracting users and analyze the difference between them and their highest spend user? This one's kind of funny. But Extractor, it gave us this report after it went and used all of our data models, right? Extractors and spenders in Pixels are 98.8% overlapping. The real divide is between 1,569 pure extractors and 593 power users. It gave us some insights into what the key differentiator is, session depth, like how much people are playing. It gave us like very, very interesting like outputs here. And the thing is, like, our whole system already had like all these tools baked in, but it's so easy to get these reports now because we have all this data science backing, right? Like a ton of proprietary models that are like more ML oriented, not necessarily LLM oriented. But when you combine this tech with an LLM layer on top, where you get semantics and the ability to like query it, becomes crazy, right? So that's a good example of kind of what kind of reporting it's able to do. But even beyond that, it's able to do pretty cool things like, was it this one? Oh yeah, so you can have it query current offers here. Like, can you pull all of our offers that target whales? It's able to pull up the offers that do, and this is actually how the offer looks inside of the system, right? It's able to create and suggest new offers. Let's see, we're making changes, so this one might not be able to be demoed as best as it could be. Can you recommend me new offers? Oh, nice, it does work right now. Okay, this is great. Can you recommend new offers that will help improve retention around their high spend cohorts? It started asking like a few more questions, and it came back with recommendations on how we actually might be able to like retain our most loyal users a little bit better. So things like, we should probably give a reward for people who used to be inside of the game. We should probably reward like loyalty better, like all of these things, right? So basically combining these models with like some agent layer on top makes the process of coming up with new offers way easier. Now, at the same time, you don't have to use this. Like the teams that are using Stacked and us, we can still go out and do it by hand. And like still create these offers and incentives, but we can even be more directed, right? Instead of just asking it general questions, it's like, okay, we know that we haven't been doing as good of a job at rewarding certain segments inside of the game. Like, right now there's not enough landowner tasks. How might we create new offers to like benefit landowners, for example. Like that's a great example of something that we can do where this allows for easy automated offer creation, like kind of instantly. Now, the cool part in the next stage after this is you start to get to like automation after that, and like self-improvement. So these systems right now are they're like still kind of human reviewed, and there's a human loop to it. When you start to build enough trust with the system, that's when self-improvement can start too. So imagine that there's a daily report getting generated every single day of how each offer in the portfolio is performing, which offers are not being utilized best, which users have not been rewarded enough. That's when you can start to have the system start to suggest new stuff and just implement it and run tests every single day. We already have the testing frameworks to understand which offers are actually driving results, and these plug in and self-improve. So that's kind of the whole stacked concept. So how are we actually going to use stacked, and like where does it come in, and why does it matter, and why should you as a like person in this ecosystem care, right? Because this is a cool product, but like, you know, what does it mean for the Pixel token, the Pixel ecosystem, right? Well, one, Stacked powers all the first-party games inside of Pixel's ecosystem. We'll give a quick update on Chubkins. We have a lot of new stuff coming there. I don't know how much I should share right now, but we have a new game coming out very soon. It's actually in early access now, as you guys know, but there's been a ton of developments on it, and it's about to get a major update in early access.
Yeah, I think these are old. These are older pictures too.
Yeah, these are a little bit.
It's gonna look even better, guys.
Yeah, so this is a new app that's coming out. If you're not familiar with the Pixel ecosystem, it's kind of like a multiplayer Tamagotchi game. Yeah, it's kind of like a multiplayer Tamagotchi game. And yeah, so I just got screenshots from the team. It is live actually now in early access. If you're based in the US, you can actually download this game on the Google Play Store. It will have a full release on iOS and Android probably in the next month or two. It will be feature complete most likely by the end of this month, and there still will be some testing that we need to do here. But this game is going to be the first like ground up integration of Stacked, right? So essentially this will be kind of like a fresh game that we can experiment with these rewards. So how it will work is essentially when you play this game, there'll be a bunch of different challenges that you can do. And I think that's what these were. Yeah, there'll be a bunch of different missions that you can do. And what's cool about these missions is there's actually even like multiplayer missions. So some of these missions, in order to earn stacked rewards or like real money rewards, you might have to like do it with another player too. It's like a really cool new concept. Multiplayer real money rewards. No one's really done that before. And it's tied around like a really fun, cute new loop. If you've been following the game,
Don't show that last one.
okay, if you've been following the game too, there's huge new updates.
That's my least favorite one. You show me the ugly ones.
Okay, well, yeah, we're just going through this. There's huge new updates coming to all the art too. There's like new monsters. These are actually like the real 3D models that'll be in the game. It's not like a concept. It's not like AI. This is like the real stuff going in the game. It's a bunch of new models coming in, a bunch of new monsters. Heidi has.
Guys, this is the most important thing. Look, I printed stickers of the cute ones. So we have this guy.
It's oh, nice.
Yeah, I know it's on your computer. It's kind of hard. We got this one. How cute is that? This one's got a Pixel t-shirt. Okay, this is really hard to do on your computer. I feel like stupid. Okay. This one I think is debatably one of the cutest, but might be biased because it's pink. Okay. we've got this one with little like wooden horns. Anyways, I just wanted to print stickers to like have them. Like these are real. I keep forgetting which camera we're on. So this is the most exciting thing of the AMA, I think, right? Oh yeah, I also printed Ella as a sticker. There you go.
Amazing.
That's my input to the demo today.
Very, very valuable.
But yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, that's all going live in probably the next month or two. It's gonna be using this tech. That's cute. It's gonna be using Stack Tech, but also Stack Tech is currently live in Core Pixels. So yeah, I saw some people asking questions about like what's happening with the task board and all that. So what you're going to see over the next month also is you're going to see more earnings inside of Pixels transition to the Stacked app also and to the Stacked system. So right now, if you take a look, I think about like 30% of earnings inside of the game are through task board, 30% through merchant ships, 30% through Bounty Fall, and like 10% through the Stacked offer system. We're going to try to transition 99% of rewards into Stacked in the long run. There's a few things that we'll need to do to actually make that happen. The first will be we're just going to introduce new offers inside of Pixels, or new missions inside of Pixels that use Stacked. The second will be we're going to start to transition more of task board actually into a similar system that lives in Stacked while still having like the economics stay the same, right? Like one of the issues is as we transition Pixels into like the Stacked system, we don't want to mess up the game economics. Like that's where task board's where a lot of item burn is currently happening, right? And then 3 after that, what we'll do is we'll start to add in a few new concepts in the Stacked. Stacked is launching more of the MVP kind of phase when it launches on the consumer side, like the app and like, you know, stuff that you'll download and use as a player. But eventually it'll have things like leaderboard support, tournaments, stores, and more in there. And that's when we'll actually transition like a leaderboard tech from Bounty Fall and like other mechanics into Stacked. It'll just basically be the same exact system, but the leaderboard will also show up in Stacked.
Okay, should we dive into some questions? Do you have more that you wanted to talk about?
Is there any more?
I think you went through a lot.
Yeah, I think we went through a lot. If you guys have questions,
Okay,
then let us know.
Let's do it. We have a few here. Let's see if there's anything relevant. There's this one which you should have maybe addressed, but oh no, wait, there was that really good one about here. So how much infrastructure does a Stacked client need to build to use Stacked effectively? Has to be a lot of work.
No, okay, so if a game wants to work with Stacked, what do they have to do? Well, we actually have an SDK that makes it really easy. So essentially, Stacked won't probably work for the game well until a couple weeks in when they start like having enough data there sufficiently. But basically, a game that wants to integrate and work with Stacked, all they have to do is they have to spin up or they have to integrate their SDK. The SDK kind of looks like an analytics SDK, like you'd be using like Mixpanel or Segment or something like that. And it can even wrap around other analytics that they have, or it might be like if you are a developer in technical, like if you have a place like a centralized place where you're doing logging, basically you would just log some events also. And then Pixel starts to get an idea of player base and it taps into like Pixel Network also. And then it can actually start, using the game data that you guys have in order to actually, make smarter decisions. But it'll work regardless because there's still like general lessons that we've learned and tools that we built out and preferences that we lean towards the tools in order to actually create offers. Like for example, a new user offer too. But when they integrate the SDK, what do we start to get? Well, we start to get a list of, all of the events happening inside of the game. So, if they're spending currencies, and like what currency they're spending, if they're like doing certain mechanics, logging in every day. And like we can actually build out a set of offers from that. So like if we see a bunch of spend events of an in-game currency diamonds in a new game that we've never seen, right? Well, we know their in-game currency is diamonds and we can start to suggest offers around diamonds, right? There's also obvious things with every game where you don't really need to know much about the game to like suggest some things. Like for example, like if you have people who are very active and engaged inside of the game and like spending a lot, like even besides the targeted stuff, like you should probably give them some cash back, right? Like if you're spending inside of the game, think about like loyalty, just give some cash back offers. Like there's some basic stuff like that, right? Some of the secret sauce, but yeah.
This is something I want to address. Okay, so it looks like the Stacked system is not user friendly. All of that. Okay, that might just be a product of us talking about the B2B side as well as the B2C side at the same time. It's going to be very user friendly. The interface is like very welcoming. Should we share that again?
So there's two things. I think they're talking about it inside of the Pixels game too. So how Stacked works.
Hold on, it's loading. Can you zoom into that at all or does it not? Yeah, perfect. See, that's user friendly.
So how Stacked works is it shows like any reward that you have inside of Stacked shows up in two places. It shows up in the game natively, and it shows up in the SAP, right? Um, so yeah, you might see, a potential offer inside of here, right? But it will also show up inside of the game too. Now, to be honest, the UX inside of the game is not so strong. And that's actually something we're going to be addressing too soon, like inside the core pixels, right? Now, every game implements the UX and the offers in the way that they want, or at least they have the ability to do so. They can also kind of iframe reward UX if they want to. But yeah, the actual implementation of how the rewards are surfaced inside of pixels is not very clean. We're going to redo that soon.
Okay, let me look at some other questions we had here. Here, this one you can answer pretty quickly.
Does Stack support ETH, L1, and Solana? So there are a few different chains that will support off the bat, not just Ronin. There's no Solana support yet, but honestly, I wish there is. So that'll be, it's EVM compatible right now, and it'll be launching multi-chain at first too. Now the issue is like what chains are actually worth supporting. To be honest, like we're still big fans of the Ronin ecosystem. Stacked lives on Ronin, but it has other chain support, right? It will be Ronin first. Ronin will be what we prefer, but yeah, we'll also allow other options too.
Where does the money for rewards come from?
This is why that concept of return on reward spend is very important, right? So the ideal long run, well, no, not the ideal long run. Stacked can only work if it helps games, actually monetize better, right? So how Stacked should be working is essentially if a game comes and works with Stacked, ideally they're making more money, right? And ideally there is like a cut of the economics that the Stacked ecosystem can take if we're helping that game generate more revenue, right? Now this is where we can think about token and all of you. And again, I have to be like sensitive and careful about how I talk about this. But what I can say is Stacked and the Pixel Foundation are dedicated to working together. Stacked is obviously built off of the back of the Pixel Foundation, and the economics between the two need to make sense also if Stacked actually wants to be working so closely with the Pixel Foundation. So what I'll say is like revenue generated from Stacked, there will probably be some kind of like MSA with the Pixel Foundation. Now, what the Pixel Foundation does with like revenue generated from Stacked is up to it, right? The Pixel Foundation has the goal of advancing Web3 gaming, of getting more people into Play to Earn. And what does it need to do that? Well, one, the Pixel Foundation is like generally probably pretty concerned about staking. In order for Pixel to actually, achieve its goal of advancing Web3 gaming, it needs more people to know about it. It needs more users, and staking is a big part of the system too. So making sure there's adequate incentives for stakers will probably be important in the long run. So that it's good. So that the Pixel Foundation can achieve its goals, right? It's funny that it's just over your face, but
welcome to Stacked. Okay, wait. There's another question. I think. Is the idea of Stacked that it's better with other companies using it and make good business with it, or is it more important to make the core game better?
So this is a good question. Honestly, my number one concern with Stacked is making our games better first and foremost. Like, to be honest, we could make a big announcement about how we're rolling out with like a bunch of partners, and that was one option that we were considering. But like, who has the best shot at making the Stacked ecosystem work? Like the team that's building it and the team that has first party games too. If Stacked works, the other partners will come. Like that's actually the least bit of concern. So for the first stages, it's proving out the tech. It's proving that it'll work and scale and grow games through core pixels, through the Pixels ecosystem partners. That's like Pixel Dungeons, the Sleepy Gotchi team.
They just got bingo. You said Pixel Dungeons.
And also Chubkins too is exciting for us too because it's kind of a fresh start. And Chubkins, it's looking pretty promising because we've been doing a lot of paid UA and running ads and experiments on it. It's got legs. So yeah, there's a lot of people I've asked to use Stacked already, is what I'll say. To be honest, if you think about it, like it really only makes sense to like really put time and energy into like high quality partners that really move the needle. When you think about current landscape of Web3, it's not so strong. There might be a few people out there worth working with in the beginning stages. Some Web3 games you guys know and love, and we'll probably do that. But the bigger goal and North Star for the Stacked ecosystem will be like just prove it out with the first party games and like start working with much bigger partners after that.
Do you want to?
Yeah, we can bring that up. So sensitive topic. Token pump, did you guys do something? Here's what I will say. The team has no control over the price of the Pixel token, like literally zero. I woke up today surprised also. What I can publicly and confidently say is the team did like nothing when it comes to any market making deals, no OTC, like there was nothing the team did that like led to this basically. So and like nothing shady on the back end either. Like I can publicly and like confidently say that.
Why are people saying my nails are like Bob themed? They're literally just like very, very pale purple. Let's see. Well, while you're looking, I can answer Huntao. How is GDC looking? Okay, I'm going to address what happened yesterday because it was kind of wild. So PC Gamer put out an article about there being absolutely no blockchain related talks happening at GDC this year for the first time in years. And then suddenly I was a hot topic of conversation because I did speak at GDC yesterday. To be fair, my talk was about game development and live ops. It was not focused on specifically blockchain related things. But it was an interesting situation that happened yesterday. The conference itself seems very busy, seems bustling. I went to a Forecast and Wolves Den event yesterday that was packed with people, very, all the familiar faces. So, we know the reality of the industry is not pumping as hard as it has in past years, but the conference itself seemed pretty good, and my talk went really well, and it was really a fulfilling moment for me. So yeah, wish you were here. All right, other questions?
Okay. Yeah, there were a few good ones. This was a good question. So will the Pixel token still be used for staking after the beta system is closed? Okay, so here's actually how I view Pixel token long run. I actually like the idea of stake only in the long run. And then USDC rewards and spend. So yeah, Pixel will always be used for staking. Like this is a continuation, like an evolution of like what the Pixel token is going to be doing, right? So the important thing for an ecosystem is one, you need product that actually works and is valuable and like moves the needle for gamers and for companies, right? Like crypto startups, none of this works if you didn't build something that is genuinely a better experience for both parties, right? Like if this sucks for players and they're like, wow, somebody said something which I disagree with, but again, there's nuance here.
Bring it up.
Offers equal player extraction. So one, if this actually was a system that was much worse than anything else that out there because like it's extracting from players won't want to interact with it and engage with it, right? And that makes this whole thing not work, right? So this only works if this is genuinely a better solution for both players and for the game, right? If this isn't better for players, then nobody's going to use it and it won't work, right? So this is like the sweet spot that you need to hit, right? And this is the thing with like any product out there. You need to build something that is genuinely better than anything else. And if you do that, things kind of fall in place, right? So that's the hard part about crypto because that's the hardest thing to do, to build something that actually has product market fit. Like that's what product market fit is. Something that's good for users and something that's good for companies. Those two things together, that's product market fit. And that's so hard to do. And not many people in crypto have actually done it.
Maybe a few minutes left. Do you want to talk about Chubkins more, or do you want to stick to the other questions that you've been?
Let me look.
What was that one?
What is the purpose of Chubkins? So Chubkins is just a new game that we're building out that like starts from first principles of all the concepts that we've learned. So one of the things that we know is for Core Pixels, again, we're still working on Core Pixels. There's still a bunch of updates coming. There's updates coming with the end game, which I don't want to spoil. And there's going to be updates that come with the first user experience too. Chubkins, because we had the resources to do it, we want to start building like other games in parallel too, like most game companies do. It's kind of like an experiment that we had that actually started to have some legs, be a lot more promising. That is more mass market appeal than Core Pixel is, friendlier and like more Web 2 centric when it comes to like audience and player base and how it's perceived. But one of the key differentiators of Chubkins is also it is like the fullest implementation of what we want Stack to be in these games. And like one way that Stack can go. How I view Web3 gaming and rewarded players, there's a few different directions you can go. You can go like risk to earn if you really want. I don't really like risk to earn, to be honest. I don't really want to build risk to earn games. There's a niche for that some people will crack, but like I believe in play to earn, which is different than risk to earn, where essentially you can still reward people for playing if you do it in a smart way. And that's what we're trying to do with Chubkins. Now, there's still some nuance in play to earn too. You can reward more heavily on like sharing and user acquisition, or you can reward more heavily in like long-term game loops, more like Pixels, right? So Chubkins is more of an experiment around like what happens when you like really try to create a viral funnel with play to earn mechanics. So we'll see how that goes. But it does have legs. Like there's good economics behind it already. Like our customer acquisition costs when we're doing paid funnels and ads and experiments, it's like good. It's good. So it actually seems like it's going to work.
Do you want to?
No. Yeah, we can bring that up.
Skip it. Okay.
When working with Stacked, was there any issues with potential app stores and crypto utilizations, rewards? Yeah, it's always going to be some of the nuance when you're building out some of the stuff and sensitivities too. What's funny is like in some aspects, crypto actually makes it easier than fiat, and in some aspects it makes it harder. It's like it's both. Crypto rewards generally okay. What Apple doesn't like and Google Play don't like is when you don't give them the cut. So Stacked, there's no spend inside of Stacked in the beginning stage. It's literally earn only. You download Stacked, you only earn. Maybe some of the assets are going to be like a battle pass or something in Stacked eventually, like maybe eventually, but you literally cannot spend in Stacked when it first releases. It's just rewards, and it's just one option for rewards. We have experimented with different types of rewards, crypto versus gift cards versus other stuff. Well, I'll say with marketing around Stacked, long run is like you can't, if you're advertising crypto rewards, it sucks. But what is that crypto actually better for? Well, crypto compared to like fiat withdrawal, crypto is instant withdrawals, right? Fiat withdrawal, if you're trying to like send money to PayPal, it's like 3 days. Kind of sucks. So there actually are better parts of crypto if you give it as an option. But when we talk about rewards, we're not like pushing crypto rewards, even though when Stacked releases first, especially for the web, when we're rolling out with Pixels, it will be Pixel rewards, not USDC, not anything else.
We're at the hour. Is there anything you want to mention?
Let's look. Lots of questions about
one above that's super important. No, the little like emoji.
Oh, this?
Yeah.
What else? When new rare items in Buoybug store.
With all of the systems, I know there's been some comments here on core game stuff. So like when MS update, when Buoybugs update, when what else was there? Neon Zone, Bountiful. We're a small team, and you guys see we always push updates. It's kind of like a cyclical thing, so things will come. Team is working on that final piece of this giant update that we've been working on for like 6 months. So that will come maybe next week, maybe the following. I think that's timeline-ish goal.
Yeah. Will Stacked allow access to Web 2 games and tokens? So Stacked can reward anything. It can reward in-game items that aren't Web3. It can reward Web3 in-game items.
Even beyond games, guys. Like you could implement Stacked on a product to just like increase user engagement.
Yeah, I mean,
whatever.
Really good first example is like if we're working with a chain and they want to like increase volume or spend or staking, like that's a very easy thing to do that supports stuff right now. But like imagine
I'm trying to think of something so random. And
Like a meditation app that wants
There
to
you
like
go, that's a good
reward
one.
engagement, or like a fitness app that was
Yeah,
like,
take the
okay,
amount of steps today.
yeah.
Wasn't there like a Web3 game that was all fitness oriented at some point?
Are you talking Steppen?
Maybe.
If Stacked only gives rewards, where are the benefits for the company? So Stack tries to give rewards.
UAA.
Yeah, Stack tries to give rewards in a few smart ways. Like one, getting new users inside of a game. Companies always pay for that. So even if it's just drawing new users in to the game as like a hook initially, companies pay per user. Right now, a company normally pays for, depending on the type of the game, if it's like a very hyper casual mobile game, companies normally pay like $1 per new user. But if it's like a harder core game, like I think a lot of mid-core games will pay like $15 per new user, $20 per new user, right? And instead of you getting that money right now, these games just pay Meta and TikTok and Facebook, right? Like that's where the money is currently going in the system. You play the game and you probably found the game naturally too. You probably found the game because you saw some like YouTube video or something like that. And then eventually maybe you click an ad. That game is paying $15 to Meta. When honestly, like, why not just give you an incentive to try something? And maybe you like it, maybe you don't. And why don't you get that money, right? Like, that's the system here. Like, that's the difference. Then same thing when you think about it in different levels, right? Where it's like, okay, um, games honestly also pay money to retain users. Like, they do a bunch of stuff like that too. Like, they try to get you to keep playing. They spend money on like advertising campaigns. Like RuneScape does this all the time. They're spending like a lot of money on influencer marketing to get people to come back and play, right? Why not just give that money to the users? Like that's the whole concept, right? You're cutting out the middlemen of advertisers, and you're actually rewarding the users for the things these games would already be paying for. Okay.
What about this one? Yeah, that one.
Which one?
The one that you highlighted.
Okay, so is Stack going to be an open ecosystem? Is there an SDK I can use to integrate it into my game? So Stack technically open, but honestly, like we're probably going to slowly open and whitelist certain things. Now, there's two parts of Stacked. Like there's that agent framework, which that one will probably be more tightly whitelisted. And then there's also just like the offer system too. That one's easier to make more open, right? Now, what I'll say is like community members and people who've been in the ecosystem that want to build something to experiment with, like, yeah, we'll probably bring you in. It won't be fully open, mostly because a product like this, trust is important in the beginning stages, right? Like you want to bring in games that are credible and not like scams, right? Two, like really games that are good are much more needle moving than just like any game, right? Like you don't want to just bring in and open the floodgates. Maybe if they have spend, then it's like okay, they'll give spend to the users, and like if they have like actual rewards that they can back and put up. But yeah,
Is that last one?
Stacked will bring revenue in Pixel. It'll bring revenue in USD most likely, which can still benefit the Pixel ecosystem.
Anything else?
I think that's
Covered a
it.
lot today.
Yeah, so that's the preview. Now here's the thing. What we have not done a good job at yet is most of crypto does not know anything about this, right? We're gonna run some like more marketing campaigns soon, right? But here's where we need help from the community. I'm looking at like a bunch of different message boards. I'm looking at a bunch of different comments on Twitter, and people don't know what we're doing. So this is where the community can really help. Like we just shared with you guys everything that we're up to, right? Now help people figure this out for us too, right? Like Pixels, you guys know we've been building for a long time. People who watch these AMAs every week, you guys know what we were up to. But yeah, the next stage, and obviously we're going to be working on this too, is to get the word out on what's interesting about this, right? Because some people see Pixels and they're like, oh, that was that game in 2024, right? And they don't know that there's all of this stuff under it. And that's going to be very, very important for the next stage here, right? Like what's great about Pixels is we've been here through so many markets now.
We're frozen.
Yeah, are we frozen?
I feel like it. Are we frozen, guys?
Are we frozen?
No, we're not.
Okay.
I don't know.
You're frozen. That's just your
It's just
screen
my
then.
computer then.
Okay, so yeah, what I was saying is like, help us get the word out. Hopefully, if you guys need more things from us when it comes to like resources, we'll try to get more stuff out. Like again, we weren't completely expecting to announce and like show you guys all of this today, but I think today was a good day to do it, basically. So yeah, just let you guys kind of understand like what exactly we're up to, where we're going, where the ecosystem is headed. So yeah, where you guys can help us again is like, help us make content, help us prepare stuff. And yeah, let's get the word out too, right? So appreciate everybody on these AMAs. Let us know if you need anything from us to help share this more effectively. And there should be more stuff coming out soon and like some bigger pushes on our end in the next couple weeks, right? So
Absolutamente.
yeah, appreciate everybody.
All right. Well, that's a wrap. Thanks for coming out. All your questions today. I think is really fun. And yeah, like Luke said, we'll get more information and details out to you guys soon. So yeah, we want all of you yapping with us. Not
All right.
at all.
Thanks, everyone.
And we'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.